Hi everyone and welcome back. Okay, so I've got another quick drawing for you today. The scene is from an artist called Birket Foster. He was a Victorian artist, so the image is old enough to be free in the public domain. There's no copyright with this one, so it's okay to use. Now, I'm working in my A5 Seawhite travel journal for this one. Great little sketchbook. I really do enjoy using these for little graphite sketches and even finished drawings. You know, the paper's really nice quality. I'll leave links to this in the description below if you're interested. So, the title of the video then. Well, it all sounds a little bit zen, doesn't it? Well, let's get into that. So, I mean, how many times have you started a drawing or even a painting, doesn't matter, with a plan in mind? You know, you can visualise the finished drawing or painting and you set out several processes in your mind of how you're going to get to that goal, to that end result. So you've got a clear picture now of what you're doing and what you want the end result to look like. So you start your drawing with all good intention and it's all going to plan, and then all of a sudden you start noticing things in the drawing which you didn't plan on. Not bad things, let's say opportunities. Opportunities that unexpectedly present themselves to you at any point during the drawing, and they leave you with that dilemma of, do I stay on track and stick with my original plan, or do I take advantage of these opportunities and take the drawing on a different course? Does that sound familiar? No? Well, in that case you're probably wondering what on earth I'm talking about. Well, it's something that happens to me quite often, and this drawing was a good case in point. I intended to start this one as a very simple and quick sketch. I only actually intended to spend an hour, maybe 2 hours on this, as a very short lesson for my members over on Patreon. We have a section over there called Sketchbook Corner, and I do these shorter drawings and easy sketches for the beginners and for people that don't have much time. So I thought this would be an ideal one, just do a quick sketch, make a quick lesson, and that'd be it. So I had this plan of how I was going to do the drawing. I thought I'm going to keep it simple, omit a lot of the detail, where I thought I could finish this drawing, you know, in under 2 hours. And as I was working through the drawing, it was all going well, everything was on schedule, and then all of a sudden the drawing started to take a different turn. I started to see little opportunities in there that I thought looked really good. You know, these opportunities were just little bits of detail here and there which I hadn't planned for, and before I knew it I was in the zone and I was going with the flow of the drawing unintentionally, and I was increasing the detail. The time limits on the drawing were getting longer and longer. In fact, I threw them aside. You know, I hadn't got any time limits now on this drawing. I decided to take it on a completely different course and go with the flow and not try and force the drawing to happen in a way that I wanted it to happen, but just let the drawing happen. You know, don't make it happen, just let it happen. Just go with the flow. When you see those opportunities that they present themselves to you quite often in drawings and paintings, my advice would be go with them. You know, you might actually see something happening in your drawing, like for example a misty background. You might have just smeared some graphite there and you thought, well, I was planning to do that really detailed, or the opposite way round. You know, you might start putting some soft detail on a background and think, well, actually it looks better if it's soft, even though I didn't plan for that. So just go with those natural instincts. You know, your eyes won't lie to you when you're looking at your drawing. If something looks good, it will register with you. You will know, you know, when one of those opportunities has happened. And things like that were happening all the time in this drawing. You know, for example, I'd planned on not doing very much detail at all on the trees and even leaving the figures out to simplify this scene. But I just started to notice that if I was to put a branch over the darker area of the tree trunk, I think it would look good, even though I hadn't planned for it and even though it's not in the reference photo. So I just went with the flow, just let it happen, and it started to take on a completely different look. I was really enjoying the look of the picture purely through, I know this sounds stupid, but just letting the drawing talk to you and not you forcing your plan on the drawing, if that makes sense. I know that sounds very crazy and everything. I did warn you, didn't I, at the start of this video, it sounds a bit zen. But anyway, you know, your drawing is not literally going to talk to you, but you know, as you're looking at it, you're getting the information from the drawing, and you can soon start to change your mind from the original plan. Now, more often than not, I've fought against that and thought, no, I've got to keep this drawing on course, you know, it's a full lesson on Patreon or whatever. And often I've regretted doing that, and the times that I've actually spent changing the course of the drawing and just going with the flow and just let it happen, just be guided by the drawing and not your own plans, you know, just let the drawing guide you along, let it talk to you, let it present those opportunities to you and you go with them. I think they make the best drawings, to be honest. You might disagree, and that's fair enough. And this is obviously just my opinion, you know, my experience of how I go about drawing. And of course, that's not to say that having a plan beforehand is a bad idea. Of course not. It's a brilliant idea. You know, if you can visualise your drawing when the paper's blank, before you've even put any graphite or made a mark on it, you know, if you've got that image in your mind of what you want the end result to look like, that's fantastic. You know, because sometimes drawings don't present opportunities to you, you know, and when they don't, it's always good to have that plan and stick to it. But when those unexpected opportunities present themselves, go with them. They're golden, you know, they don't happen all the time. So when they do, I always think it's best to take full advantage of it and respond to what's happening on the paper in front of you, and not necessarily, you know, what's going on in your mind and your thoughts, you know, about how you want the drawing to look. Right, okay, I think that's enough zen for one day, don't you? So the drawing's just about finished anyway, so I guess this is a good place to leave it. And like I say, this is actually a full tutorial over on Patreon. I think the drawing actually took me about 5 hours or so to actually complete, so it's kind of a mid-range one. You know, it's not a 30-minute sketch and it's not a 30-hour drawing. It's you know, somewhere in the middle, so it's a good one to do. And as always, I'll leave links to Patreon in the description below and in the end screen cards as well. Okay, so thanks very much for viewing, everybody. I always appreciate your comments and a like. Okay, so take care, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.